material is copyright.
Live stream for CHOPPL. I'm going to be going over kind of the getting started with CHOPPL once you download it. CHOPPL basically is a way to chop videos like you would a sample on your drum pad, like an SP or MPC. Pretty simple once you start using it, but it may look a little complex when you first open it. So I'll show you how to get started. First, if you'd like to join the beta, you can by going to beta.choppl.com, and you'll be brought to this page here. All you need to do is fill out your information, your email, and request access. Once you do that, you'll be able to join the Discord and download CHOPPL. You'll get full access for 30 days, and if you happen to find a bug, then I'll give you a full license. Just for helping me out, that's my gift. Anyways, so once you open up CHOPPL, you're going to be brought to the main screen here, and you'll see that there's some menu items up top. You have library, slice, pads, track, MIDI, layers, record, and then more has a drop down with some more stuff. But we're going to just focus on the library section for now. So if you have some clips, great. That's what this is for. You're going to hit this little area here and select all your clips. So here's some that I have been using. Quite a bit, actually. So I'll just select some of them, load it, and you'll see that it starts loading into the library. There's some duplicates here, but that's okay for testing purposes here. When you do load a clip for the first time into CHOPPL, it will make sure that it's optimized to use. And so it'll create another clip, basically a copy, in the CHOPPL folder under optimized clips. And then anytime you wanted to use clips, you can just pull the ready version from the optimized clip folder. And then you can also star clips that you like. So if you put a star on it, it'll move it up to the very front of the list here. If you wanted to tag an image, you can right click and add a tag if you want. So we could do like a TV, movie, or one shot, noise, texture. We'll just add effects on this one. And then if you wanted to search in your tags, you can go here and you can see what which ones you're looking for. So I'll remove that. So the best way to get started is going to be in your library. You can hit select on a clip that you want to load, and then it'll bring up the pad page, and you can select any pad to load it. So I'll just select pad 1 here. If I hit this, you'll see we're getting some pads. Another thing, if you are using MIDI, this MIDI button on the bottom should be green. It defaults to root the C348, but if you're using an SP404 or an MPC, you're going to want to be at 36. I'm using an MPK Mini, so it's at 48. And to check that you're receiving MIDI notes, you can go to the MIDI tab and then hit a button here, and you'll see what note is popping up. And that's going to be helpful to diagnose or to do MIDI learning later. So as you see, I'm triggering the pad here. Going back to library, you'll see when it's assigned to a pad, it adds like a yellow kind of border to the clip in your library. So you can select another clip and then put it anywhere on the pads. We're going to go ahead and turn layers off for now, just for this demonstration. And to easily fill all the pads, so say you load your clips, you can go to the pad page and just hit auto fill pads. That's going to load up your pads with clips from your library. And now I can just trigger clips as I want with the MIDI notes. And you'll see this clip has some audio attached to it, so you can just go ahead and mute that solo by itself, or if you have multiple, you can just hit mute all audio. This will unmute and mute depending on what you want to do. So now we have all the pads assigned. I'm going to go through some of the options up here. We have auto loop clips, so when this is off, and you'll see on is orange. When it's off though, it will stop the clip after the duration. I like to just have them on so that there's no kind of dull moments. So now we have these looping. The second button here says classic 1 clip, and this is basically going to allow you to hit each pad and show whatever's on that pad, right? But if you click it again, it says layers on. So layers is one of the best features because now each pad is assigned a layer that work with each other. So right now we're playing this clip, right? And it's on layer 1. If we hit another clip, you'll see we're getting some kind of bleed through from the other clips. And they're all on different layers, and it's kind of random. You can also randomize the pad layers. So right now this one's on layer 4, pad 13. And then we got pad 14 at layer 2. If you hit randomize pad layers, it's going to randomize these 4 layers to give you different kind of blends. And you can kind of just go through and start playing with the different randomizations, if you will, to get a cool mix. And there's some really cool stuff that you can start doing here. And then you can just hit stop. It'll stop everything. Next we got shuffle pad clips here. This button will basically move clips around that are on the pad. So any pad that it's assigned, you can just hit shuffle and it'll just move these clips to basically different layers, right? You can hit it again. And now we're getting just a different shuffle of where the pads are. And then you got randomized kit. This will just basically pull, this will reorganize all of the layers and clips in your pads. It'll shuffle them, put a different layer mode, and just move them around basically. And then we have fresh random kit. Fresh random kit is going to basically bring in clips from your library to give you a whole new setup. Now I do have a lot of duplicates, that's why you're probably seeing some of the same ones. But you can get some cool variations here. Alright. If you clear all pads, that's just going to clear your pads from the pads. Simple as that. They're still going to be in your library. So we'll just go right here and hit fresh random kit. We'll load up a whole new kit here. Now this is a good example. See, I'm hitting pad 9, but I'm not seeing anything. And that's because it's on layer 3, which is 51% overlay. So you can just change this layer group to, let's say, layer 2, and you'll see that we're now getting our visual. So if you ever hit a pad and you're like, why is it not playing? Well, you're probably on a layer that won't let you see it. And then that's kind of the main bulk of the idea here. You have 8 banks, so you can load up 16 more clips on bank 2 and switch between them. And what's nice is you can actually switch between them without ruining or messing up what's currently playing, as long as the blend modes are obviously different, right? Layer 1. Let's find a good layer. Layer 3. Okay. All right, going back to library here. We have the create a pad, which if you click that, will load up basically a way to create a static layer, pretty much like a picture, if you will. But you can put in like your name or something. Change the background color. Change the font here. There is some built-in fonts already. If you wanted to use a custom font, you could just hit add TTF OTF here. It would add it and put it under custom. Change the stroke size. So let's change the font color here. You can see. Right. Once you do that, you can hit generate. It'll add it to your library. And now you can select this and put it on a pad to use. And it's still going to maintain the blend modes that you're using. We'll just randomize here. Right. All right, so we're kind of getting some blending here with the pad. There's a bunch of different ones too that you can use. If you wanted to do just like a plain text, you could do just a single and kind of put it somewhere and on there. Cool. All right. The import and export is going to basically save a preset. So say you got all this set up with the colors that you want to use, the information, right? The name, you can change the name to be, you know, title card. You could export this and save this setup so it would know the color that you're using, where it's at, it's a plain text, etc. Alright, the next thing we have here is an image pad. Like the name says, it's just an image. So you can load an image as a pad. It's just a static image. You can make some changes, change the background color, and save. So now we can add this to our setup here. And you can see it's a little different, and that's because the pad layers kind of mixing in here. You can also turn off this the way that it's moving around. That's the auto drift feature. You could turn this on and off so that it's more of a static image. And now right now it is moving around on this canvas, and that's because there is an effect for hit variance to kind of change each time you hit the pad. And that can be turned off later too if you wanted. Going back over to the library, you do have a camera pad. Now I don't know if I were to actually use this at the same time as I'm recording, what would happen. Okay, well it works, there you go. We'll just randomize this, yep. So same deal. Next thing we have here is my favorite, and this is the archive pad. And what this is it's a library that goes through the Prelinger archives, which is about 9,600 videos that was left for the public to use. And you can search different keywords and whatnot, add them to your favorites. But there's a lot of cool stuff. It's a lot of older stuff, so it's pretty much like crate digging, but visually, right? So you can start going through some of these. So I'm going to go ahead and hit a set in.
Fully automated procedures have been applied to the main assembly line. It now takes 2 men to do the job that required a labor force of over 100 men. The company's newly automated production line has increased output at the Burbank plant by 120.
So I hit set in, set out. And now I can hit import clip. And that'll add that clip right here.
Today that fully automated procedures have been applied to the main assembly line.
Right, so you can now use this as
Today that fully automated procedure
part of your setup. And get some there's some really cool stuff in there. Let's go back here. We'll do this.
go throughout America today, you will find an inviting new look in structures of every kind. Americans are built.
So I got my time in to be 0 and timeout 27. So I'm just going to import this clip, add it to our library here. Now we're going to do something a little different. We're going to go to slice. We'll go to auto slice, choose clip, and we're going to choose this new clip that we just did. You can choose the amount of slices that you want, hit auto. We're going to do 16, auto, and we're going to do to pads. So now as you see, it loaded bank C with our 16 pads. Now, by default, the choke group is going to be none. So the audio is going to be stacking and layering. It gets a little messy, right? So just go ahead and put them all on bank 1. That way when we hit these pads, okay, we're going to turn the loops off too for this. Now, one of the cool things with CHOPPL is that we've chopped that video that we just got from the archive into 16 pads, but a lot of the video is that intro title screen, which is kind of boring. So we can actually go into settings, select swap video, and then replace the video with a new video from our library while keeping the audio from that clip. So we'll go ahead and select a few here. Swap, select, settings, swap video. We'll do select. Let's see here. All right, so I've just swapped out the first 8, but you can see now right, which is kind of cool. Let's see. All right, so now just to play around, we can go to track. I've already loaded up a boom bap little loop here, so if I hit, well, let's actually reset it. We'll load up a new one. So if I hit play, we'll hear the loop start. Alright, so you kind of get the idea now. We can load more clips, I guess, so it's a little better. We're just changing the audio out here so we can, or the videos, sorry, so we can actually see something different than that title screen. Now you wouldn't really need to do this for a lot of the clips because most of the clips in the archive are actual videos, which are cool anyways. This is just because this particular one I downloaded is not the greatest. And I want to give you the full experience here.
Structures of every kind. Writing new structures of every.
Alright, so that's pretty cool. The next thing here, let's see. Yeah, that's mainly the main things, but let's look through the archive again and see if there's something else we can grab.
Before we'd gone a mile, we took to sea. We drove onto the ferry, which took us across the Øresund, the strait that separates Sweden from Denmark.
Like, these clips are just super cool.
Along the fine Danish highways,
And what's really cool is a lot of these videos are 20, 30, 45 minutes long, so you can basically just have an unlimited amount of clips. Just to show you, I mean, these are just, and they already kind of have that old kind of lo-fi vibe. That gritty kind of camera textures. I mean, because it's legit from an old camera.
On July 19th, the D-Day of Operation Crossroads.
You really got to just go through them, though, because there's, like I said, so many.
The new Youngstown Kitchens automatic dishwasher. Youngstown Kitchens automatic dishwasher.
Come on, I mean, the original dishwasher?
Positive, powerful hydro brush.
Crazy.
Better than you can do by hand. The new Youngstown Kitchens automatic dishwasher takes over the most disagreeable labor of this daily household chore. Easily removed for cleaning too are the jet tower and screen filters.
Yeah, no, there's some just crazy clips. So if you like looking for samples, this is going to be a fun thing to do.
It's served by 3 Q. Come on, you critics. Made steam and electric borer.
And you don't need the audio, you can just use the video, right? What's cool too is any archive clip that's downloaded will be automatically tagged with your archive footage here. So you can search for them easily. And then if you want to look for something in particular, you can search super easy birds, boom. If you've organized your library previously, then it is super easy to go through. We do have audio as well. This is going to be more for if you're loading in one-shots like kicks or snares. So let's load up a kick drum. preview it. Right, there's a kick, so we can select this kick to be on this clip as an audio. So now I want to swap the video out. We'll go ahead and swap the audio out in here. We'll put a snare. Right, so now we have a snare and kick drum, and we also have these. So let's change the choke group to 2 on our 2 that we just did. That way we can layer them with this. You get it. I'm on a keyboard, so it's a... So that's kind of the idea. In the future, I was thinking of being able to add more audio, so we could have essentially kept the original audio from that archive video plus layering on a kick. The only issue I have with that is you can use CHOPPL side by side with Ableton, let's say, and Ableton is already really like mastered being able to do that. So if you wanted to layer, let's say, 5 different, sounds, Ableton has that covered, and then you can just use CHOPPL for the visual aspect of it. And that's pretty much the intro, I would say, to getting set up. There is also, I have this split layout, which is kind of cool. If you turn on one of these split layouts,
throughout Americas of every, you will find.
right? So that's kind of cool. We also have the auto. So the auto, the way that it works is if you turn it on, it'll just automatically go into a split layout. And the way that you get out of that split layout is by just doing the same pad to complete the video and letting it sit for a second, and it'll break out of that auto. So as long as you're hitting different clips, it'll stay in that auto mode, and I'll show you now. So you see, I was able to go in and get out quickly. And I think that pretty much sums up like the start of getting going. If you wanted to record something, you would just simply hit record, select your different ratio, the aspect. If you wanted something for Instagram, and then if you hit start, it'll automatically start playing the track that you have imported. So if you don't want that track to play, just clear it out. But then it'll take you to the pads right when you hit start, playing the music, and then you can just start triggering pads. Hit stop, it'll process, and it'll be in CHOPPL recordings. It'll be by the automatic title is just the date or whatnot. So that's pretty cool. You can go to more. There's a lot of stuff in here. If you wanted to add like an overlay, you can add different little things here. You can add a border, change the color. You can add text down in the bottom right. And then you can also add a watermark if you had one. So let's see, we can add the CHOPPL logo here. And you see it watermarks it up top. We can put it in the center, make it bigger or smaller. Put it in the top right, top left, bottom left.
Throughout America today.
So if you have a logo, you can put it on there. You can remove it this way. Turn these off if you don't want anything recorded into your final record. And then if you go into the layers, basically you can select a layer to adjust and change things individually. So if you wanted to change layer 2 to a different blend mode, say you want saturation, then you want here to be difference, and layer 4 to be color dodge. Right, so you got a bunch of different stuff here. These are some already pre-made ones that'll just kind of get you in the door. If you want to get back to the original colors, just hit raw colors. It'll still use the blend mode, but it won't have any crazy colors. I personally like hitting crazy mix because you can get some cool right, so you get some cool kind of effects going on between the layers, which is super cool. You can reset normal for a layer. It'll just hit it right there back to 100% normal. Now keep in mind when you do this, it will get rid of the layers because they're all normal. So I mean, it doesn't necessarily get rid of the layers, but kind of gets rid of the fun of the layers, if that makes sense. It's really up to you though how you want to play with it. Yeah, I think that pretty much covers it for now. Just to kind of get you started. And then the last thing, if you did want to join the beta that we have, if you join the Discord, I created the CHOPPL bot that will be able to answer pretty much all questions that you have getting set up, how to do certain things. And the way that works is here in Discord, you'll see we have CHOPPL support. All you need to do is just tag CHOPPL support, right? Ask your question, how do I set up layers? Hit enter. You'll see it says support thread opened in the CHOPPL bot channel. If I click how do I set up layers, it'll take me to this. And it says layers let you stack clips on top of each other. Layer 1 is your base, and upper layers are for effects, overlays, hits, etc. Fastest way in, use the layers preset. They're pre-configured blend setup, so you don't have to start from scratch. What are you trying to do with layers? Overlay a logo, blend 2 clips, add a flash effect. I can point you in the right direction. I want to turn layers off. Sorry, you have to actually reply by tagging them, and it says that. I want to turn layers off. And it'll write back to you here. To turn layers off, tap the layers active enable button to disable it. This mutes the layers output without removing your clips. If you're not seeing an obvious toggle, which version are you on? So yeah, it'll walk you through what needs to be done to turn layers on and off, or troubleshoot whatever things you're trying to figure out. So like I said, the beta is where you're going to join. Go to beta.choppl.com and you can join and have some fun chopping videos. Like I said, the archive clip is going to be 9,600 videos of Prelinger archive clips that were left to the public. So they're free to use, royalty free. You can use them any way you want, sell it, distribute it, everything. But there's just so much to go through, and you'll be able to download just little clips here and there to get you started. So even if you don't have your own clips, you're able to kind of just go through the archive and make your own clips, right? And if you have any questions, you can certainly join the Discord and ask me as well. But yeah, I'm super stoked. It's really fun. And yeah, the possibilities are endless. And I do want to say also, if you were to use, let's say, an SP404 Mark II with CHOPPL, you'd be able to plug your SP into your computer, right? Use root note 36 to trigger your pads 1 through 16 in CHOPPL. And then if you went to more audio and you chose this external audio option, you'd be able to select SP in here, and you could record directly the audio from your SP into CHOPPL. And that kind of goes back to the layers thing, because if you have a kick drum on pad 1 on your SP, you can also have a chop that you have audio on as well on CHOPPL, right? So this could have a kick on your SP. So really, you can do your layering on your device and use an extra layer with CHOPPL. And that pretty much sums everything up. Thank you for watching the intro to CHOPPL. I'll be making some more videos here and there to go over more sections. We still have quite a bit to cover. There's DJ mode, which is cool. It uses Ableton Link protocol. We also have Loop Maker, which I also think is cool. Loople here, and basically you can just load up a song and it'll make a video for you, essentially, or a loop. It's mainly for loops, but if you know the BPM of your track, it'll try to guess it as best as it can. But yeah, you can load up a clip and then go through this workflow here and then hit record loop, and it'll just automatically record that loop using the pads here. We also have sequencer, standard sequencer. These will trigger pads in CHOPPL. So if I hit play, right, hold down to clear. We have the visual effects, which this is the split layout section. We have some hit variation. This is what is doing the changing the area. So if you turn these off,
throughout America today, throughout America today, throughout America today.
also if you hit docs up here, it will open up a simple library for you to look through of the manual. Just a quick jump to kind of thing. And yeah, that pretty much does it, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Like I said, if you want to join the beta, please visit beta.choppl.com. Enter your information, join the Discord, and download the link, okay? Okie dokie. Thanks for joining. Talk to you later.
All material is copyright.